I'm sure you've all seen the ads for the latest and greatest 5G cellular service from the likes of AT&T, T Mobile, and Verizon. It boasts super fast speeds that let you download a whole TV series in seconds and have your Facebook feed load in a blink of an eye. But if you read the fine print and watch some reviews, you'll learn that 5G is a joke and has no visual benefit, at least for now. So let's take a look at what 5G is, where it's at, and where it's going. Before getting into the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. Like 2G, 3G, 4G, and later 4G LTE, 5G is the fifth generation of mobile networking. Within this generational update, there are a handful of features that will improve the speed, reliability, and capacity of cellular networks we heavily rely on. There's a great video from the IEEE on the new technologies bundled with the 5G specification. I'll leave a link to that video below, but here are the basics. Right now, most cell phone towers cannot send and receive data at the same time, so data can only go in one direction at a time. If your phone is receiving data, it can't also send data. But thanks to full duplex, your phone and the cell phone tower can now communicate back and forth at the same time. Then, instead of your phone broadcasting over a radius to connect to the tower, beamforming efficiently creates a direct line between you and the cell tower. Lastly, there's MIMO, or multiple input, multiple output, which is essentially adding more antennas to the cell tower. Put all these features together, and it can definitely increase your mobile internet speeds. But now it's time to get in a little bit of science. All wireless technology operates on some level of the electromagnetic spectrum. For instance, when you turn on your radio and tune to 107.5, you're accessing the 107.5 gigahertz band, which is right here. 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi operates here, and 5G gigahertz Wi-Fi operates here. Beyond just wireless technology, the electromagnetic spectrum also contains visible light, powers our microwaves, and is used for X-rays. But getting back to cellular, you can find that right here. Now, none of this really matters. The only thing you need to know is the further right you travel, the faster speeds you will get with a more unstable connection. Then the further left you travel is a wider range of coverage, but at a much slower speed. First, let's compare 5G to a technology you're probably more familiar with, Wi-Fi. Most home routers can broadcast at both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. In some cases, you will have two independent networks set up for each of those bands. Others will automatically and intelligently connect you to whichever band will give you the best connection. Well, 2.4 gigahertz is lower on the spectrum, which is ideal for providing a solid connection to a wide area. On the other hand, 5 gigahertz is much higher on the spectrum and supports the fastest speeds possible. However, it does get handicapped by anything that could be laying in between your device and the Wi-Fi routers, such as walls and furniture. Now let's apply this to wireless tech. 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi is to 4G, as 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi is to 5G. Now it's time for me to say that 5G isn't that simple. According to the Verge video I have linked below, there are 3 levels to 5G. There's low-band 5G that provides coverage over a very large area with speeds just a bit higher than 4G. High-band 5G can cover a city block and give you faster speeds in your home internet. Then there's mid-band, which covers a large area at speeds between low-band and high-band. With that, each cell phone carrier has a different plan for rolling out 5G. T-Mobile is focusing on low-band 5G so they can claim they have nationwide 5G coverage while steadily rolling out mid-band and high-band. Then, Verizon and AT&T are focusing more on high-band coverage. With that long description out of the way, let's take a look at why 5G is a joke. Let's start by looking at the coverage area of high-band 5G, which is literally one city block. You have to be in direct line of view of a cell phone tower. Walk around a corner, 5G gone. Walk into a building, 5G gone. Now, it is cool that you can theoretically download a whole season of a show on Netflix in seconds, but you have to be standing in just the right spot in a select city to experience that. High band will need a 5G wireless router on every telephone pole for it to be effective. On the other hand, low band is nothing great either. Really, its speed is a small incremental upgrade from 4G. I don't think that makes much sense either. Then there's how 5G is marketed. Every smartphone and smartphone accessory is covered with 5G marketing. Every Android phone has 5G in the name. I even bought a screen protector for my iPhone 12 that was 5G compatible. Why? A screen protector does not affect the phone's cellular connection. Or if you have AT&T, you have probably seen 5GE in your status bar. Let me let you in on a little secret. That's just standard old 4G LTE rebranded to make the consumer think they have 5G. Speaking of 5G phones, there are very few that are actually equipped to handle 5G. Early 5G phones suffered from overheating and drinking the battery. In fact, the iPhone 12, the first iPhone to be compatible with 5G, defaults to 4G. Yes, if you have an iPhone 12 and you live in a 5G area, your iPhone will only use 5G if you're doing a task that requires the faster 5G speeds. On that topic, what do you do on your smartphone? Scroll through social media, browse the web, check your email? Have you ever had a problem completing those tasks over 4G? Probably not. But none of that matters because most people probably don't live in a 5G city, especially if you're an AT&T subscriber like me. I mean, look at how sparse these maps are. But ignoring the anti-consumer marketing and coming back to my techie roots, 5G is so cool. The fact that you can theoretically get faster speeds than your home internet is awesome. Then there are the new genius technologies wrapped into the 5G specification which help increase performance. But 5G isn't here. Sure, 5G phones are rolling off the assembly line and more 5G cities are popping up every day. But that doesn't mean you have to run out and get a 5G phone or plan. I guarantee that most people are probably not doing anything on their mobile devices that require 5G. But as 5G evolves and we move to an increasingly mobile world, I'm sure a need will present itself. But T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, 5G isn't here. It's coming. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. Check out the links in the description to learn more about 5G and leave your questions in the comments. Also in the description, you can find links to our website, social media pages, podcast, and Patreon. Once again, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.